Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fly with Mike. Just breaking the mold a little bit today, doing a little bit of narration with this video. As you can see, I'm going to be flying the Aerobask Diamond DA-62. We're currently at Inverness Airport up in the Highlands of Scotland. Going to do a little bit of flying around. Hopefully show you something a little bit cool I discovered the other day. So let's get this thing started up. As I've mentioned a great many times in my blurbs on YouTube, I'm not a professional. Never had a flying lesson, so I'm always going to make mistakes. I just kind of pick things up as much as I can as I go along. So yeah, don't expect any sort of piloting wizardry from me at this point. I mean, I would love. So this is why I don't narrate. I can't really speak properly. Yeah, I would love to learn how to fly in real life, but it's a little bit of a long way off just yet. So, just for your information, the scenery around us right now is the Orbex True Earth GB North scenery pack for X-Plane 11. Got the GB South when it first came out, and I was absolutely blown away. Compared with the sort of stock scenery in X-Plane, the Orbex stuff, absolutely fantastic. But don't take my word for it. I mean, I'm running a pretty low-end PC. I mean, I've got a 6GB graphics card in here. Definitely not on full settings, but, you know, I still think it looks passable. Alright, let's taxi on out to whatever the nearest runway is. Let's go this way. As I say, I'm always learning, so if anybody has any tips or hints or can point out any particularly bad errors that I'm making, then please do. Normally I go for the heavier aircraft. I do quite a lot of flying for Lufthansa virtual airline, and Fly UK, another virtual airline. Spend a lot of my time flying A320s, A319s, 737s. But sometimes general aviation can be a lot of fun for just a quick flight around. I actually spent a week in Inverness in March last year. It's quite a quaint little airport. situated quite near the scene of the Battle of Culloden, which is the last sort of battle between two armies to ever have been fought on British soil, which is quite interesting. It's actually really quite close to the airport. Yeah, I probably should have put a disclaimer before this video. I'm probably going to babble a fair bit. So you don't have to listen to every single word I say. Let's just get this a little bit lined up. Do for now. Flaps down there. One thing I do like to sort out before I take off is the autopilot. I like to set the general sort of parameters. So today we're going to be flying quite low. Set it for 1,000 feet. I'm going to go for a heading of about I'd say 2-4. I think. Let's go with 242 for now. Gonna turn on the flight. Oh, the yaw dampener and the flight director. Heading. Vertical speed. We'll set that to about 500. I tend to do this so that I can just sort of hit the autopilot and off we go. Once we're airborne, that is. Alright, I think we're just about ready. Strobes on and landing lights on. Let's hit it. One very interesting lesson I learned with this particular aircraft is that if you keep it on full power for a little bit longer than you should, then your engines do actually catch fire. Took me completely by surprise. Thought it was a glitch to begin with, but nope. Let's hit that autopilot. Alright, so we're airborne, approaching our altitude. Let's bring down the throttle to about 80. Let's check the map over here. I've got to turn a little bit further to the left there. We're aiming for this strip of water down here. just flying over the city of Inverness now. As I say, my computer is a little bit of a potato in terms of performance, so I've got all the settings turned down quite considerably. The thing about the Aerobask scenery is that it still looks really quite fantastic, I think. Okay, in this video in particular, we're going to push the boundaries of realism. I'm going to bring it right down. So I'm going to set the altitude now to 200 feet. Nose down. I want us to be going pretty slow over this area anyway. Those of you familiar with Scottish geography will know exactly where I'm heading. This long strip of water ahead of me is Loch Ness. It's quite a famous, probably the most famous of the Scottish lochs, primarily because there's a bit of a myth surrounding it. I'm sure I don't really need to tell you exactly what that is. As I say, we're going to have to get really quite low for this bit. So in all of the Aerobask sceneries they put in quite a lot of the major landmarks. So in Edinburgh you'll have Edinburgh Castle, in London you've got, the O2 Arena, Houses of Parliament, pretty much everything you can imagine. But I was doing some flying on X-Plane around this area, and I came across this. You can probably see on my screen now. Just putting my mouse around it. That is Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. I mean, once again, I say my computer's a bit of a potato, but fantastic. Of all the things you expect to see in a flight simulator, I must say, that is not one of them. As I said earlier, the engine on this aircraft, or engines, if you keep them at full throttle for a considerable period of time, they do tend to overheat. So, on the way back to Inverness now, I will give it a go. For, you know, purely scientific purposes, of course. No idea what I'm doing, apparently. And that is why I'm not a professional. Alright. It looks like the autopilot's actually given up the ghost. It's so bad. Alright. I'll say it's so bad. I'm so bad, rather. Just having a bit of fun today, really. Makes a bit of a change from the international flights I usually do. I've been looking at a few of the recent weather plugins that have come out. So I believe Xenviro, the latest version of Xenviro, came out today, I believe. 1.10, I think. Anyway, it's got like white, groundbreaking sort of clouds. I've seen mixed reviews of it so far. I mean, I do tend to avoid those sorts of plugins because, well, as I said earlier, my computer is a bit of a potato, so I did try Ultra Weather XP a few months ago, but it brought my frame rates so far down it was pretty much unusable, so I got rid of it again. Maybe with a PC upgrade, you know, I'll try out some of these weather and environment extensions, but for now, X-Plane base weather and maybe a few scenery add-ons I'll have to do. Right, let's see if the engines are actually going to do what they did the other day. Don't know why, but whenever I put the fly past mode on, for the first time at least, when the aircraft gets particularly close, the frame rates just go through the floor. Oh, we got, there it is. Oh, okay. Well, last time it was only the one engine, today it's both, so let's just get this plane down. One thing I have noticed about this aircraft is, well, I don't know whether it's a bug or, well, I say a bug or just a missing feature or something, but I can't find a fire suppression system anywhere. So once that engine's on fire, I literally don't know how to extinguish it. Down. It's getting a bit more difficult to control at this point, and that would be because the engines have stopped. I'm running obviously air traffic plugin at the moment, and I believe there is indeed something on the runway at the moment, so once again, please suspend your expectations of realism as we go straight through an AI aircraft. Let's get off the runway. And there we go. So I think I will call it a day at this point as we gaze at this lovely aircraft with both its engines on fire. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a little bit of fun with my little tiny general aviation flight. There'll be more content coming up in the near future. Stay safe. Bye bye now.